This morning, BBC 5 Live is in Dover with a special programme on the UK's relationship with immigration. Previously, Boris Johnson said that 50 immigrants would be sent to Rwanda within the next 2 weeks as part of a new deal with the government there to process migrants that have come to the UK. The government says this is needed to deter the traffickers who have increasingly been sending migrants across the English Channel. Well, let's speak now to our correspondent Simon Jones, who's in Dover with more on this. Simon.
Yes, the debate on 5 Live in full swing. As you can imagine, lots of opinions on both sides of the debate. But Dover is, of course, at the sharp end of the issue of migration, given the number of people making the crossing over the channel by boat. Now, this morning we're hearing already one boat has been brought to Dungeness by the lifeboat with around 60 people on board. So the boats are getting bigger, but more and more people are being crammed onto them. At the weekend, more than 600 people made the crossing over the channel from France. So this is a big issue and it does cause some strong opinions. Let's talk now to Kevin Saunders, who's the former Chief Immigration Officer at UK Border Force. So we're talking a lot about Rwanda. The government is planning to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda. Boris Johnson said at the weekend initially 50 people have been told they could go within weeks. What do you think of that plan?
I think it's a good idea. I would like to see more than 50 being sent, but obviously you have to deal with each person in turn. I think it will send a message, because once we start removing people to Rwanda, then the jungle drums will beat very quickly. The people in Calais will realise that what the Prime Minister said is going to happen, and hopefully it will make them change their mind about coming across this awful channel crossing.
I think people are united in the fact, whatever side of the debate you're on, that people shouldn't be risking their lives in the channel. But you'll be very well aware of the criticism of the Rwanda scheme. People saying it's immoral, it's inhumane, it's unworkable, it's not cost effective.
Well, from the figures that I've seen, it's admirably cost effective. I don't think it's not inhumane. Rwanda is a safe country. The
Still
UN
issues with human rights, though.
Yes, but the UN themselves are actually sending people from civil disputes in Africa to Rwanda. So if the UN are sending them there, it can't be unsafe. Otherwise, they wouldn't be sending them there. They're sending them there from Niger.
We talk a lot about the channel crossings. Looking out today at sea, it's incredibly calm today. It's going to be a busy day for the Border Force and the MOD. The MOD have now been brought in to take operational command in the channel, but the numbers have continued.
We needed the MOD to come in. We needed the Navy to come in for command and control, because they are experienced in command and control. Border Force aren't. We needed the Navy to come in, and with the Navy came some very nice bits of kit to help them look down and see what was coming across the channel, where it was coming from, and more importantly, what the French were trying to do to stop it, if anything.
But the surveillance is all very well and good, but it's not stopping the crossings.
No, it's not stopping the crossings, but it's showing that we are trying to get a hand on what is going on in the channel. I mean, at the end of the day, the only 100% certainty in stopping the crossings is if the French will get off their backsides and start patrolling their border on the channel and stopping these people coming across.
Well, the view from the French is there's miles and miles of coastline. They can't have an officer based on every single beach.
The French don't have to have an officer on every single beach. They just need to get the Gendarmerie Maritime into the channel to stop the boats coming across. What we're seeing at the moment is the Gendarmerie Maritime actually escorting the migrant boats to our side of the channel, when they could quite easily turn them round and send them back to France.
You'll know that the French say that it's simply too dangerous, and if they try and intervene, people could actually threaten to jump in the water.
The French will say anything. The French are upset with us because of Brexit, because of Northern Ireland, and because of fishing. So I'm afraid that Mr Macron and his colleagues in Paris will come up with any excuse not to do anything.
The French are saying they're doing what they can, but I'm just going to move on slightly. If it's not turning boats back at sea, if Rwanda may only have a limited effect, what is the solution? Is it safe and legal routes?
I like the new legislation, because the new legislation says that if you arrive illegally or unlawfully, whichever the term is you want to use, then you can't make an asylum claim in the UK. And that's important, because we're taking thousands and thousands of people from the Ukraine quite lawfully, quite properly, and we should be doing it. We're doing something correctly. But we're having to process these people. But while we're processing these people, we've got 8,000 migrants that have turned up who jump to the front of the queue because they immediately have to be accommodated and what have you before we can deal with the other people.
A lot of people arriving, whether they come by boat, will have genuine asylum claims.
Well, I'm a little sceptical about this. I mean,
that's what the statistics say.
The statistics say that a lot of people come across. What we're seeing is that people invent a reason to claim asylum, whether it's religion, whether it's something else. What we don't know is who these people are that are coming across, because they destroy all their documents.
OK, Kevin, well, thank you very much for joining us. Now, the view from the government is that a lot of people who come over are genuine asylum seekers, but they want to change the way, almost have different routes to get across. So if you come across the channel, that may well count against your asylum claim. But certainly strong views here in Dover being reflected in the debate at 5 Live right now.
Simon, thank you very much. Simon Jones.